Okay, welcome to another episode of Reflections of a CEO, where I peel back the curtain and give an inside look into what it's like running a business. So today I was thinking about what do I want to talk about, and the last few episodes, if you've been joining me, I've taken a topic and kind of dove into that pretty deep, and I had thought more through, I guess, and it was a bit more structured in the approach I was taking to covering a topic. But today, I wanted to kind of just do a stream of consciousness, because I guess if I had to call it a topic today, it's really about how I was kind of feeling off. And you ever, if you run a business, I think you'll understand what I'm saying, but there's some days where you're just off. Like you're not on your game, things aren't going well. It's one kind of piece of bad news after another. And for me, it started this morning. I woke up to some not great stuff, and then throughout the day, it was just like one thing after another, after another, after another, and this has happened before, right? If you run a business, this is not a unique occurrence. But today I just was like off. I wasn't feeling it. Couldn't get focused on things. And so I decided to change it up. It's 5 p.m. I'm back in the apartment. I was like, all right, I'm just going to record this podcast, get my thoughts out. I just need to change it up. So sometimes when, I guess what I want to talk about today is like, how do I handle a day when it's, things are just off and you're not feeling it. Now I'm more gentle with myself. So I used to get very upset at myself. Like, why are you upset, or why aren't you performing, or whatever it is? And now I'm gentle with myself. Like, okay, things aren't going as well as I'd like. I'm not in my groove. That's okay, right? Like it's one day. And it's okay not to feel great all day. I still had meetings. I've still been overall productive. I've gotten a lot done. Let me just be very clear. It's not like I've been doing nothing all day. It's just not at the level of performance that I would like, and not in the mindset level that I would like to be at all day. And I just couldn't shake it, until now. And so I decided to change it up, come home, do work from here, and just change up my environment a little bit. For me, it really started this morning. I didn't get a full 8 hours of sleep, which I've realized is very important to me. Didn't sleep well at all. Slept about 6 hours, but it was tossing and turning all night up. And so, I knew from the start of the day, I was like, okay, didn't get a good night's sleep. It's going to be a little rough. And that's how I approach things now, is I'm much more self-aware. It's super, super important to understand yourself. And I know now, if I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm going to be a little on edge. I'm going to not be in the best mood because I'm a little bit more tired. And so I know that. So I say, okay, let me be more gentle with myself. And let me also be mindful about how I talk to people today. Instead of just being an ass, about things. And so, I woke up not feeling well. Then I got some piece of news I didn't like. And like I said, it was just throughout the day, some pieces of news that I didn't like, but it didn't really set me up. That wasn't actually what kind of put me in a bad state. And I'm happy about that. I couldn't honestly say a year ago that I would be like that. When things are going one thing and another, I would go on that emotional roller coaster. And now it's kind of like, okay, just another day in the life, another few fires. It's fine. And I'm okay with that because I know there's another day. Once you've been through enough, and this might be a good thing for people who are just starting their business or you're just starting out. Look, it may seem like the end of the world when stuff is not going well and there's a fire, and it's like, gosh, all I do is put out fires. Just know the day passes and the next day starts, right? And you don't even have to wait until the next day to switch your mindset, right? You can change it in the middle of the day, right? You have to find things that work for you. Maybe you meditate. Maybe you change your environment, you come home and work. Maybe it is you wait till the next day. Don't beat yourself up about it. Kind of let those feelings and those emotions pass. The more you fight it, the more the emotions actually stay. Right? It's funny like that. So you have to be gentle with yourself, and it's something that took me a long time to really understand. And you may even hear me say this and think I'm crazy for saying it, but at some point you'll come to that same kind of conclusion or realization, and it's okay to not be in peak condition every single day, and you just have to be kind of alright with that. And when things aren't going amazing during the day and a fire's here, fire there, you kind of take the punches and keep going. You can't let it throw you off, because if I let it throw me off, I wouldn't have gotten anything done today. I mean, I had a couple great business development meetings. I had a lot of good things. So I also look at that now. I'm like, okay, had a few bad things happen today for sure, but I also had a lot of great things happen. Formed a new partnership with someone that I've been wanting to do for a while. Got a few leads in for some Popo finance stuff. Got a few leads in for service-based-businesses.com. Got a lead in for Jacked. Was really doing some good stuff as well. So it's also easy to look at only the bad things that happen, but I also look at all the good things that happen. And that helps me, not be down too much. And so my overall emotional state, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this way. Let me explore that. Interesting. And but I'm not going up and down like I used to. That doesn't get you anywhere. Like if you're super upset about something, you can't actually perform on the next task. Right? Think of it like I don't know. I think of business as a sport. If you're playing soccer as a sport that I choose, right? Like if you get upset about something and you switch off, the other team can score. Right, or basketball, or whatever is your sport, right? You turn off for a second, someone else scores, right? So I have something, I shake it off, I'm on to the next thing. I don't carry that baggage with me. Sometimes those feelings that will stay with me a little bit beneath the surface, and I address them. I don't ignore them now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to explore this later because I need to figure out what's really bothering me. But I don't let it affect my entire life now and how I'm feeling and like the end of the world and all this, and I definitely used to, right? When people talk about that emotional roller coaster, I was definitely on it for years, and it's not that I'm off it. I'm just more on like the baby humps now, right? Okay, I see this, cool. I'm just gonna keep going. So that's kind of what I was going through today. I was just like off, not feeling my prime, my peak, and so sometimes you have to just change it up. So. Change the environment, go get a workout in, meditate, eat some food, take a walk, do whatever it is. You really need to learn yourself to reset, but you can't drag on that negative energy, and it really will pass. It may not seem like this, and I'm really saying this like I'm talking to myself years ago. You might be going through some shit, and you're like, man, when is it going to get better? And I have two kind of pieces of suggestions for it. One, know that it will, right? Like, the days go on, business goes on, and it may be hard to hear that, but I'm telling you, the next day will come, and you can start over the next day, and it's a new day, right? Your business will not die because of that one day. It will survive until the next day. Businesses don't die because of one catastrophic event. It's because of a series of long-term events, right? So you have to put, you have to look at it like that. And the second one, when you just look at an event, I'm really removing myself from this is bad news or good news, or right and wrong, right? Like, it's very polar. Instead of just saying, hey, this is an event, it happened, right? And then you can interpret the event, right? Through my lens, I'm interpreting the event. This is a really important one that has changed my life, really, I'm telling you it has. An event is just an event. Something that happens just happened, right? When I look at it, I'm like, oh, I got some bad news or some fires or whatever. That's because that's my interpretation of it. What really happened, and I still have to like tell myself this, right? Is, all right, this happened. This event happened, it's not great for the business, but it happened. Now, what am I going to do about it, right? Because it's just an event. I can be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. What am I going to do? Or, okay, that happened. Great. Here's my move, right? You always have a move. So you can either work yourself up about it, or you can just look at anything that happens, right? And this can be a client fires you, an employee leaves, you lose some money, whatever it is, right? They're just events. It's what you make of them and the story you put around it that really can change your response to it, right? You're like, oh my God, our company's gonna die, right? Well, if you're in that kind of mindset, it's gonna be hard to do anything. But if you're like, okay, we just got fired from this project, and okay, let's look. What did we do? What led to this? Okay, let me go get a new customer, or whatever it is, right? You can't dwell on things, and you just really have to be on and turn. Explore it. And for me, over the years, I used to need, like, if something really, like, quote unquote bad happened, we lost a customer that cost us tens of thousands, right? I would need like a couple hours to like walk around and clear my head, and that's what I needed. Now, since I've been really working on this, I don't really need that. It's like, takes a minute, I'm like, okay, cool, on to the next thing. Part of it's, experience over the years, just knowing that the next day will come, knowing that my resilience, I've been through so many different experiences, that I also just have the data points that show, like, I just get through things. I have the self-belief that I get through things. You kind of gain that confidence, I think, after you go through enough, shit, and you get through it, you realize, it's just another thing, right? So you get confidence based on experience. I think that's an interesting point. I'm just thinking of that now, right? Like, the more you do something, the more you've been through hard challenges, and the more you've pulled off deals, and the more you've done things and gotten yourself out of situations, the more confidence you have that you can actually get through it. And your self-belief, I think, grows, which is interesting. And so I have very deep self-belief. I really don't doubt myself when it comes to business stuff and the ability overall to get through. I've kind of always had that, and I think partially as an entrepreneur, you just need that. That kind of like blind faith in yourself, right? Like, other people might not believe in you, but like, if you don't believe in you, it's just not gonna work, in my opinion, right? Like, throughout this whole time when I'm getting through shit, stuff is going down, lost money, business partners, clients, whatever it is, I just believe that I would be okay through all of it, right? And I think that's really important. So self-belief, and it's partially also, I've been really big on the law of attraction lately. And if you look back a couple podcasts ago, I talked about it for a whole podcast. It also goes into that, I think, right? I've had such a belief that things would always work out and I could get through them, and I'd picture what it would look like. And really, what I realized is like, that was the law of attraction. What I believed became real, right? I always believe I can get through something, right? And so now, I've worked on myself a lot over the last year and a half, and so when stuff is happening, I more look at them just from an objective standpoint as much as possible. And I'm not perfect by any means, right? An event happens, something goes, whatever it is, and I try not to get charged by it. Or if I do, I say, hey, my emotions, I'm getting charged up about something. My emotions are telling me something, so I need to uncover that. I need to explore that. Why did I feel that way, right? It's not that I don't have emotions. I want to use my emotions as a tool to tell me something. So that's why I look at emotions now. I'm like, I'm feeling bad. Why is that? Something is sitting wrong here. I need to uncover what that is, right? Your emotions are a great way to alert you of something that's under there, right? Because you don't consciously think of emotions all the time, right? It's like something happens, all of a sudden you're upset, or you're happy, or you're whatever it is, right? It's kind of like this unconscious kind of thing, but that's your unconscious telling yourself something, right? Like, there's something there. Wow, I feel scared. I feel fear. I feel whatever it is. Uncover those things, because there's something that your emotions and they're trying to tell you something. So listen to them. Don't fight it. So that's been really important to my development. And yeah, just being, overall, I just want to emphasize being self-aware, looking at yourself, and not beating yourself up. And that will really help that roller coaster. It's something that's helped me a lot, right? And sometimes, even for me, sometimes like, well, I need to call my coach. I need to call, talk this out, because as an entrepreneur, oftentimes you feel like, hey, who am I going to talk to? I can't talk to people about this kind of stuff because no one will understand, right? It's really important that I realize, like, to have those people around that do understand, right? It's been monumental having an executive coach. It's partially that work with her has encouraged me to create servicebasedbusinesses.com and that group, because I want to also give that to other people, that outlet, that way of talking through things that you just don't often get, right? Like, being an entrepreneur is lonely because there's not many people that really deeply understand it unless you're going through it. And so I would say if you're listening to this and you are an entrepreneur, seriously, reach out to me, right? Like, I'm not just actually saying that to say that, I'm like actually seriously saying it, because I have been through some really dark, bad times, and I know how bad it is, and I don't want other people to go through that alone, because I've been alone in those situations, and it's awful. And now I have a great support network around me, and I have different coping mechanisms, and I'm really learning how to deal with it in a really healthy way. But not everyone is there, and that's okay. No, if you're listening to this, you're not alone. I've been through it plenty of times. I was just talking to another entrepreneur today. He was telling me about a year ago, he went through some crazy experiences that, funny enough, were very similar to mine, slightly different, but like went through a bunch of shit and recovered and went through it. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, yep, I know it. It's very similar, and then it's kind of like, yep, oh, you did this, well, and this happened to me, and then it's like you have these stories that like seem crazy to anyone else, but like to us, they're just like, man, another story. So, anyways, I kind of digress now. I'm gonna keep this episode a little bit shorter because overall, knowing myself, I'm not feeling great today. I'm just, I'm not completely on, so I'm gonna be gentle with myself, do a shorter podcast recording, shake it off, do a bit more work, probably grab some dinner, and just do what feels right, and then reset. To me, the real reset is always the next day. I definitely reset during the day, and I'm able to keep going, and like I said, I've had a great day still, either way, but like the real reset for me is always the next day. Get a good night's sleep, get my meditation in, go to the gym, take care of myself. Really, I start, one last trick I'll leave you with is when you're not feeling well and things aren't going well, focus on yourself. You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. Let me repeat that because it's so important, and I'm just now like really, really understanding it. Take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else, right? So when you're not feeling well and you're off, you have to focus on yourself. Be selfish. You have to. I'm telling you, right? Like, I didn't do that for years. Oh, the business isn't doing it, stuff is happening, I'm going to take care of everyone else. And I would just put myself last, beat myself up. Like I was the last person that got taken care of. No. Take care of yourself first. Put yourself in the right mindset, and then you'll be able to take care of everyone else in a very abundant way, a very positive energy way. And that's really important. So I'll leave you with that. Be a little bit selfish in that sense. Seriously, it may, if it was me listening to this 2 years ago, I'd be like, hell no, nah. The owner can't be selfish in that sense. They have to put the business first and all that. And while, look, there's a fine balance here, right? Like I take care of the business. I take the hits for people. I take the responsibility. I take the blame, right? I definitely do that. But if I'm going to do all that, let me at least be in a good mindset. When I say be selfish, I'm saying take care of your mind and your body and your energy. Take care of that so that then you can be that person to take the weight of everything, right? Because you are, as the business owner, the last line of defense. You're going to take the brunt of everything. You're going to, be that person that really soaks it up. But in order to do that all the time, you have to be in a good mindset and in a good place. So be selfish in that sense. Take care of yourself. And I'm going to leave you with that. So thank you for joining Reflections of a CEO. I hope this was enjoyable and helpful. If you liked this, please, if you're listening by audio, I would love for you to subscribe to my podcast so that you get the latest episodes. I release a couple a week. And if you're recording, or if you're watching by video on YouTube or on Facebook, please subscribe so that you get notified of my latest videos when they come out. And I hope to see you all next time. That's it for this episode of Reflections of a CEO. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.